let's first start with what the study was. Scott, we just completed an exciting study in 2009 in Minnesota where we heard from 1,000 households through a telephone survey. 300 of them got a detailed appliance saturation survey, and we went and visited 50 of those households twice and metered devices and interviewed them for a month. Well, we metered devices for a month, we interviewed them twice. So what, in a nutshell, if you were to explain to people in 30 seconds or less, what are the key findings here that are exciting, what would you say?
Okay, so after looking at about 1,600 devices in 50 homes and metering 700 of those, it looks to us like plug-in devices as a whole make up 20% of the average Minnesota household's electricity use. And there's 30 to 40 of those on average per home. And the part of our study that I think was most innovative and original is we really zeroed in on how much savings opportunity is there for low and no cost ways for people to cut the electricity use of those devices. And we found from a technical perspective that people could drop their overall electricity use by about 5% if they pursued things like unplugging things that aren't being used and have phantom load on them, enabling computer power management on their computers, turning off things that are left on. And then if you take a behavioral perspective, we found about half of that we think could be realistically achievable after doing some pretty detailed interviewing with people and getting a real sense of these households and how they operate and whether they really would do some of these strategies that we talked about with them. And then among all those opportunities that we found, there's clearly one opportunity that rose above all others, and that was
computer power management. In fact, I like the way that you framed this as the gold nugget of our finding, because it's one thing that people can do that can save a significant amount of electricity. And that one thing is to enable a setting on the operating system of the computer that puts it into standby or sleep mode, a low power setting, when they're not actively using it. And that can save...
we found lots and lots of computers that were just either on all the time or on for hours and hours and days without being turned off. And those kind of computers, you could easily save 200, 300, 400 kilowatt hours a year by enabling that, which is worth 20 to 40 or more dollars per year for the average homeowner. And beyond that, we found that savings opportunity exists in 8 out of every 10 Minnesota homes, because just about every Minnesota home has a desktop computer. Very few of them are enabled for sleep or hibernate mode for the computer itself. Most of them have the monitor enabled for sleep mode, but it's the computer itself where most of the electricity use goes. 75% of the overall electricity use is the computer itself. And the other reason that we're excited about that particular opportunity is because not only is it a great technical opportunity, but we've got some pretty positive feedback from people in the homes when we talk to them about it.
Oh, absolutely. Right? In fact, not only could they do it, they would. Most of the time in a study like this, you ask people, what are they willing to do? And you get that in an interview. But here, before we even got to ask the question, during the study when we were picking up meters and power management came up because we were simply recording what the current settings were, people started asking about it, they showed interest, and on the spot, without prompting from us, they started enabling it right and left. We had something close to half of the households that didn't currently have it enabled, enable it while we were there, and that is the best possible sign that people are interested in it, and they like what it can do for them. They just didn't know about it or didn't understand it.
So that's why after looking over all of these hundreds of devices that we metered in these homes, it's clearly computer power management that rises to the top, and there's lots more details in our technical report and in the webinar that we did in January.
So we hope people will watch it.